This One's Wife, nothing comes to fruition. You can always rely on the Australians for some straight talking, and Lexi Cartwright of news.com.au reports on matters that we are well aware of, but it's useful to see the Australian take on these matters, to understand the truly global disapproval and condemnation of the way that This One's Wife behaves. The headline is Audible denies This One's Wife on cusp of signing multi-million-dollar deal. This One's Wife was widely reported to be on the cusp of signing a multi-million-dollar deal with Amazon's audio company, Audible, residual benefit. According to multiple international media outlets at the weekend, the Duchess of Sussex, 42, was in talks with the US-based podcast giant in a lucrative contract that could make or break her Hollywood career. However, an Audible spokesperson issued a statement to news.com.au declaring there is no truth to the reports and Audible is not in negotiations with This One's Wife. They couldn't be any clearer, could they? And once again, her pathetic attempt through PR puff pieces to cause matters to manifest has simply backfired, with the relevant organisation quick to distance themselves from her in order to avoid being linked to an individual who is a failure and viewed as toxic, and once again demonstrating the collateral consequences of her narcissism. Her narcissism in an attempt to ensure that it gains the prime aims causes her to organise the release of press information to suggest that a deal is in the offing. This, of course, is a lie, because it isn't. And as I've explained previously, many organisations would just let it hang in the wind. There's no need to deny it. It's not going to happen, but there's no harm. It's a bit of profile raising, it's a little bit of publicity. The individual concerned is well liked, etc. And although we aren't doing anything with that individual, we're not bothered about them being linked to us. Yet it demonstrates the depth to which that This One's Wife has fallen, in that people now, as soon as there is a connection with her, race to distance themselves from her. Previously, a source told Closer UK, This One's Wife was planning to sign with the company after her $29 million deal, Australian dollars, with Spotify came to an unceremonious end in June. Word of mouth is spreading that it will lead to a huge payout, even bigger than the millions Spotify splashed out. And This One's Wife is thrilled that she'll be in the company of Michelle and Barack Obama, who signed with Audible last year, an insider had told the publication. Attempt to manipulate the position through portraying her in a good light, thus gaining control and fuel, and potentially trying to cause the manifestation of a residual benefit. This One's Wife seems very confident at the moment, but the reality is that she's been in a pretty desperate spot. Losing the Spotify deal was a massive blow. She's been pretty lost since, but this deal could turn everything around. This One's Wife and husband, Prince Harry, 39, were the subject of much controversy when their deal with Spotify was not renewed. After signing with the audio company in late 2020 to much buzz, following their departure from royal life, This One's Wife produced just one 12-episode podcast series, Archetypes. While the former royals claimed in a statement it was a mutual agreement not to renew their contract, Spotify executive Bill Simmons would later describe the Sussexes as fucking grifters. Speaking on his podcast shortly after news of their parting ways, Simmons said, "The fucking grifters. That's the podcast we should have launched with them. I got to get drunk one night and tell the story of the Zoom I had with Harry trying to help him with a podcast idea. It's one of my best stories." Notice again that the press has no hesitation in bringing up the past to remind everybody of the ridicule that they had experienced. That they want to again repeat the fact that their deal with Spotify fell apart and that they were called fucking grifters. There's no pulling of the punches when it comes to these two. They are perfectly content to remind the world of how ineffectual they have been. The article continues, stating, despite the negative attention that engulfed This One's Wife's debut podcast, the insider added the former actress is ready to start afresh with a new contract, but was daunted by the pressure to succeed. She's not daunted at all. She believes that she's absolutely brilliant at everything that she does. That is only stated as a pity play, whereby what she states is done for the purpose of making people feel sympathetic towards her because she's feeling daunted. The insider continued with this pity play by proxy, stating she hardly sleeps thanks to the pressure of it all, but knows that the pressure will only get worse if she lands the deal. It will make or break, the source added. Hollywood's power brokers will be aware of just how the Sussexes fumbled on the Spotify deal, so they fear that getting dropped twice would be the end of their brand, as nobody would trust they could deliver the content. The stakes are extremely high. Well, I would venture to suggest that that point has already been reached, which is supported by the fact that Audible were quick to distance themselves from any suggestion that there is a deal being done, that they don't want to have anything to do with her, that already she's not trusted to deliver the content. The article continues by explaining it comes after this one's wife signed with powerhouse Hollywood agency WME in April, with royal watchers eagerly awaiting her first major deal to emerge from the partnership. While there's been rumours bubbling for some time surrounding this one's wife's impending career revival, including reports of a deal with French fashion house Dior and a social media relaunch, so far nothing has come to fruition. Ordinarily, you wouldn't report upon nothing, but the fact is that the stock of Harry, and particularly this one's wife, has fallen so low that the press see no harm in reporting nothingness, that they've failed to produce anything, that they've failed to sign any deals, that people don't want to work with them. It comes to something that when the press is reporting on nothing coming to fruition, that nothing has actually happened. And that's because an image has now been cultivated by the press and other people that these two are about nothing, that they don't deliver, that they're lazy, entitled. And therefore, it's a continuance of that image by explaining, look, they've not produced anything. They've not signed any deals. They signed up with a powerhouse Hollywood agency in April. 6 months later, nothing. There's lots of talk, but nothing comes to fruition. There's rumours about this. There's rumours about a relaunch of the social media. There's rumours of a relaunch of the TIG. There's suggestions of working with Audible. And once again, it comes to naught. And this underpins and emphasises just how useless the gruesome twosome are viewed. That with them, you wouldn't invest in their brand because nothing comes to fruition. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.